હવે આપણે ચાલુ કરીએ છીએ.
ઓકે,
હરે કૃષ્ણ માતાજી.
હરે કૃષ્ણ બેટા.
Dandavat pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Mataji, I'll start Manglacharan.
ओके बेटा.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta-padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamshyam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Mataji.
Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna beta.
Mataji, thank you very much for Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you very much for joining in and giving your precious time to us. Mataji, this group meets every day at the same time, same link, it's been going on since the last 4 years. Today, we have even our temple president, Path Prabhu, with us. Hare Krishna, Path Prabhu, if you can probably switch on your camera so Mataji can see you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, Dandavat
Prabhuji
Mataji
has been the source.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji has been the source of our inspiration, and whatever we are doing is just because of all his efforts. So we are really grateful to him. So a brief introduction to Mataji. I know you are all very eager to listen to Mataji, but Mataji was born in 1949 in Nairobi. So she is a Nairobiite, and she got married after at the age of 19 years to somebody from Eldoret. So we have a deep connection with her. So she is an Eldoret daughter-in-law and a daughter of Nairobi. Mataji has 3 children and has been involved with ISKCON since 1979. And she was primary leader for fighting to save the temple campaign at the manor. I'm sure everybody's aware that manor had its ups and downs, and there was a lot of debate on whether the temple should be there. So Mataji was very vocal. She's also been in the prison because of that. They called her a public nuisance. So you can see how feisty and eager she is. She's a mental health specialist, but of course Mataji is now retired. and she has been an inspiration to a lot of devotees at the manor, and she's been serving there ever since. So thank you very much, Mataji, for joining in and giving your precious time. We are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 1, and the text for today, Mataji, is text 27. Mataji, I hand over to you. Please tell us if you wanted us to read the text or anything.
Yes, maybe somebody can read the text, but before we start, Beta, please accept humble obeisance, especially to Eldoret, where you are. Vanchakalpa tarubhascha kripa sindhuvai eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I'm sure Eldoret is not the same as I remember, but somehow Krishna brings us all round, and now I'm connecting back to Eldoret. I'm just mesmerized. And Beta, I was not one of the leader in Save the Temple campaign. We did a lot of background work. The leaders were different, the whole different team. But then we were quite a few of us who did a lot of background work. And in that, we used to go to Trafalgar Square and speak at the speaker's corner. And once we were just taken to the police cell because we became public nuisance at 10 Downing Street to the boxes, and we would move. And yeah, so it was. But we are here. The manor is so vibrant, so beautiful. And before, when there were only few people coming, manor had problems. But now, at Janmashtami time, we have 77,000 people come to visit. 70, 80,000, sometimes 65,000 in 24 hours. So I thought I would just mention that I was just a background worker. So, but thank you for your introduction.
Jai to your services, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Jai to your services, Mataji, and please bless us that the Eldoret Temple will attract similar number of devotees. Please bless us that we become a big temple, attracting, even if the temple is small, but we have a big devotee congregation. We would love blessings from you.
I'm sure you will have, because when the preaching is done in the right mode, it sometimes takes time, but it always manifests. So hopefully one day I will come and visit Eldoret. Let's see what Krishna has in plans. But first of all,
so this is it. Now that you have seen everybody, I think now we will send messages to Krishna that please let Mataji come here. So thank you very much for your association.
Okay, Beta. Thank you. Beta, would somebody like to recite the sloka?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. We can accept my humble business as a good Srila Prabhupada. May I, Mataji? May I read?
Of course.
Yes, go.
Thank
yes,
you,
go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me properly? Sorry, Mataji.
What's your good name?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Devi Dasi.
Hare Krishna. It's morning here, just like Gayatri Mataji and myself. We are from Canada. We follow nearly every day whenever we come. So yes, Hare Krishna. Yes, Gayatri Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. I'm blessed to see you, Mataji, and have the association. Thank you.
Yeah, I met Mataji in UK, but maybe she doesn't remember because, you know, I spend most of the time there. So I don't know. Maybe I have been her class.
Okay, let's start.
Okay, thank you.
Let us start.
Okay. Canto 3, Chapter 1, Text 27. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kachit Karunam Parama Surinda Bhamaha Saaste Sukhamanga Saurihi Yo Vaishwastrinyam Pitrivardadhati Varam Vadanyo Varatarapanena Nanim Kachit, whether Karunam of the Kurus, Paramaha, greatest, Shurit, well-wisher, Naha, our, Bhama, brother-in-law, Sa, he, Aste, is, Sukham, happy, Anga, O Uddhava, Saurihi, Vasudeva, sorry, Ya, one who, very certainly, Swasrinam, of the sisters, Pitrivat, like a father, Dadati, gives, Varan, everything desirable, Vadanyaha, munificent, Vara, wife, Tarpanena, by pleasing. So I continue, Mataji?
Yes, beta, yes.
Thank you. Translation. Please tell me whether the best friend of the Kurus, our brother-in-law, Vasudeva, is doing well. He is very munificent. He is like a father to his sisters, and he is always pleasing to his wives. Purport. Lord Krishna's father, Vasudeva, had 16 wives, and one of them, named Pauravi or Rohini, the mother of Baladeva, was a sister of Vidura. Vasudeva, therefore, was a husband of Vidura's sister, and thus they were brothers-in-law. Vasudeva's sister Kunti was a wife of Pandu, Vidura's elder brother, and that in that sense also, Vasudeva was brother-in-law to Vidura. Kunti was younger than Vasudeva, and it was the duty of the elder brother to treat younger sisters as daughters. Whenever anything was needed by Kunti, it was munificently delivered by Vasudeva. Due to his great love for his younger sister, Vasudeva never dissatisfied his wife, and at the same time, he supplied the objects desired by the sister. He had a special attention for Kunti because she became a widow at an early age. While inquiring about Vasudeva's welfare, Vidura remembered all about him and their family relationships. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna, beta, thank you very much. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Gokulanand ki jai, Radha Damodar ki jai, Radha Raman Lal Jai ki jai, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Samved Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you for asking me to talk on this particular verse, because this verse is really, it shows us many things. And about Vidur, Vidur never took part in the war. This is the glory of Vidurji here as well, that in the previous verses, how Vidurji met Uddhavji, and there was the discussion about so many questions asked by Vidur. The whole Bhagavatam is full of questions and answers. It starts from the 6 main questions asked by our great sages, and then the questions were asked by Vidura, by Kunti Maharani, the prayers of Kunti Maharani, and the whole of Bhagavatam is seeking the higher knowledge. And Vidur being the incarnation of Yamaraj, he knew he was the knower of religious principles. And although he was in the assembly of Kurus, assembly of Kauravas, his heart was not there, because he knew that this, whatever is not happening according to the Dharma. And him being Dharmaraj himself, Yamaraj himself, he was never happy about it. And therefore he decided to leave. And by the divine mercy of the Lord, Duryodhan kept insulting Vidurji, because for various reasons. One, Vidur was not born as a Kshatriya, although he was born in a palace among the Kshatriyas, but he himself was not a Kshatriya, because his mother was not a Kshatriyani. She was not a princess. She was a maid servant to the other queens. And although he was brother to Dhritarashtra, he did not have a claim to that throne. He would have never become a king. But because of his intelligence, because the way he conducted, the advice he gave, the way he looked after each and every member of Hastinapur and towards their welfare, he was given a title as a minister. So he was a chief minister in the assembly of Dhritarashtra. And because he would give the right advice, Duryodhan did not like it. And Duryodhan and Shakuni, they kept insulting him. But Vidurji never ever retaliated until the time came that in this assembly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Hari, when he came as a peace talker, when he came as a Shanti Dut, at that time, when Vidur put with pressure that yes, Krishna is right, and we should give some place, some land for these Pandavas. And when Duryodhan insulted the Lord, Vidur could not take it. And when Duryodhan insulted Vidurji to such a level that he thought enough is enough now. And at this point, Vidurji knew that the war is imminent. It's imminent now. The war is going to take place. So he came out of the assembly, and whatever weapons he carried, he had bow and arrow. So he left it outside that assembly, and he left. He left on a pilgrimage. He did not want to take part in this unholy war of adharma, because he witnessed unjust done to Pandavas from very young age. He saw the unjust to Panduraja as well. Because Dhritarashtra was blind externally and internally. And Dhritarashtra is the symbol of envy. And although Vidurji kept all the respect and treated him like elder brother, but Dhritarashtra never did that. He always felt that Vidur is Dasiputra. He's not one of us. But they had no choice. So he was given this position of a mantri. Now, who is Vidur? It's quite important, quite amazing. Vidur himself is a Yamaraj, and Yamaraj is one of the 12 Mahajan. And Yamaraj is the knower of religious principles. And in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd chapter, verse number 20 and 21, it states the position of Yamaraj. And it says, Swayambhur Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manu Prahalado Janaka Bhishma Balir Vaya Sakhir Vayam Dvadasati Vijanino Dharamam Bhagavatam Bhata Guhyam Vishuddham Durbodham Yam Gnatvam Ratam Nanushtate. So here, when there was an inquiry about who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yamaraj himself told his dutas, Yamadutas, that look, I am not the Supreme. I am one of the knower of the religious principles. And on this basis, Vidurji left Hastinapur when he saw the war coming, because he is the knower of the religious principles. And he did not want to take any part in that. So what the lessons are learned for us here? What do we learn from here? That wherever there is a conflict, a sober person, a wise person would not take part in that conflict, because we cannot bring any peace by being in the middle of it. And after he went on a pilgrimage, he went to south, he went to north, he went to east, and then eventually he comes to Hastinapur side, because he knew, he was getting the messages that the war is coming to an end. It has come to an end. And his heart, his Mahatma, he was considered as Mahatma. His heart was so grieved to hear so many millions of people have died. But what could he do? He just knew that this was the will of higher authority. And therefore he was, although grieved, he had that inner peace in him. And then he met Uddhavji. And Uddhavji was coming after meeting Krishna. Now Krishna, before leaving his pastimes, before leaving this material world and going onto his own abode, he met two personalities. Uddhavji was already there, because Uddhavji did not leave Krishna at all. And he knew that the time is coming when the Lord is not going to be here. And he was under an impression that Krishna is going to take him with him. So although there was a discussion going on between Uddhavji and Krishna. And at that time, Maitreya Rishi came. So Maitreya Rishi joined as well. And through that discussion of Krishna and Uddhavji, there is Uddhav Gita. Because Uddhavji asked Krishna that, can you please tell me the Gita? Can you talk about that Gita that you spoke in Kurukshetra? And Krishna said that time it was needed at that level. Now that level is not needed. But I will give you another angle of Gita. So there is a book called Uddhav Gita as well. So when Uddhavji and Krishna were talking, Krishna revealed that I'm going to leave now. And Uddhavji started crying that, what will we do now? We will become anath. Anath means we will masterless. We will not have anybody with us. So Krishna said to him that, no, I will go, and the time is coming, the Kali Yuga is coming. And the Kali Yuga is not going to be that grand. It's not going to be that great. So I will leave my potency in my name. And that's why this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra that is given to us by Srila Prabhupada is a unique mantra. Because in previous yugas, mantras like this were not radically available. But Srila Prabhupada gave us this mantra by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So here, Uddhavji, taking that message, he was coming towards Hastinapur, coming towards Braj. Because Krishna asked him to stay in Braj. Krishna said, you are not coming with me. I want you to stay behind. So Uddhavji stayed behind. And Krishna asked him to stay in Braj. Even today, beta, there is a temple, a beautiful, beautiful temple of Uddhavji in Kusum Sarovar, near Kusum Sarovar. So if anybody goes there, please go and take darshan of this great personality there. And Uddhavji said to Krishna that I want to live in Braj as a tinka. Tinka means as a piece of grass. I want to live as grass. So when Vaishnavas would be doing parikrama, they will walk on me. And maybe one Vaishnava's Charan Raj would give me liberation. And that's why in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a sloka, isn't it? Amanina manadena kirtanye sadari. So always become, we have to become like grass. Our mentality should be humble. And Uddhavji resides in Braj, but he met Vidur. And before going into Braj, and when the two personalities such as Vidur and Uddhava met, they embraced each other because they both had come from a real negative environment, because the whole of Yadu dynasty is wiped out. Krishna has left. On this side, Yadu Kuru Vansh is all wiped out. So the whole atmosphere was quite serene. And at this time, meeting with Uddhava, Vidurji asked him, the first question he asked is in the previous verse, that how is Balram, how is Krishna? Are they all right? Are they okay? Because Vidur did not know that Krishna had gone. Vidur had no idea. Vidur was lamenting about Kuru dynasty. He was not aware of Yadukul being wiped out. So he asked about Yadukul, that is everybody all right? And in this sloka, he's further in making inquiry. He's further asking that how is Vasudev? And who is Vasudev? Vasudev is the father of Krishna and Balram. Here, they're talking, when Vidurji is asking this question, actually Vidurji is asking that question with a mindset that would help us in our life. He is talking about the depth of relationship, the relationship, the responsibility of the elder member of the family, because that these personalities, they knew that the time coming nearer now, when the Kali Yuga will take its place, all this etiquette is going to be lost. So here Vidurji is asking in a way that how responsible Vasudev is, how responsible he is. Here he's saying that he had 16 wives. In this day and age, the ratio of divorce is at such a level that people cannot live with one partner. And yet, sometimes we come across people that they would ask that, how come all these personalities had so many wives? But they were capable of looking after them. They were capable of taking care of them. And none of the wives had any problem with each other, or even nobody had ever problems with each other. So here, again, he's asking about his response. He's talking about his responsibility, that he is the one who looks after his sisters like a father. So here it establishes that a brother's duty is to look after the sisters as well, especially when they become single, when the husband passes away. And here particularly, he's saying that he's more favorable to Kunti, because Srila Prabhupada in his purport says, because Kunti was widowed at a very young age. Her children were very young. And Vasudev, being her elder brother, took great care of her. And Vasudev did offer Kunti to go and live in Dwarika. But Kunti Maharani, Kunti being Kunti, she did not leave her elders, which was Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. Now, when we talk about Kunti, who is Kunti? Why there was so much favor? the favor was given to Kunti. And why was it? Why Vasudeva was so compassionate towards her? Why Krishna was so compassionate to 5 Pandavas? Here, Kunti Maharani, her name, her original name is Pritha. And she is a real sister of Vasudeva. Vasudeva had several brothers and sisters, and among all of them, Kunti was the youngest. And her name was Pritha. And that's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, every now and then, Krishna would address Arjuna as the son of Pritha. By saying that, Krishna was reminding Arjuna that who actually his mother is. His mother is Krishna's auntie, Krishna's wife. His mother and Krishna's father are brother and sister. Therefore, Krishna every now and then brings that, O son of Pritha. Now, when we talk about Pritha, and when we look into Pritha's life, here when we talk about responsibility, Pritha, Kunti Maharani, how much austerity she has gone through. Here in this verse, it's all about responsibility, maintaining the relationship. And by maintaining the relationship, that comes under devotion, isn't it? We would only maintain relationship if we are devoted to somebody. And Kunti Maharani, from very young age, she was just a little girl, when her father's friend and cousin, Kunti Bhoj, came to Sursena's household to meet him. And Kunti Bhoj didn't have any children, whereas Sursena had many children. Several daughters, several sons. And when Kunti Bhoja saw all that, he begged to Sursena that, can I have one of your child? Can I adopt one? And upon asking, Kunti Bhoj looked at Pritha. She was a little girl. And then Sursena obviously agreed. And the austerity of this little girl started from then. At that very young age, she went to live with Kunti Bhoj, left her own household, which was so buzzing. All these brothers and sisters. Can you imagine? We have got about 7, 8 sisters and 7, 8 brothers. The household would be quite chaotic, isn't it? From that, Pritha went into the quiet household where she was the only child. What an austerity. What a renunciation. And it wasn't coming from within. It was placed on her. And then as she grew a little older, by the will of Lord, she was given a boon by Durvasha Rishi that you can call any demigod, and we got a child. Now this Kunti Maharani, she was not that old, and she called Lord Surya Dev. And from him, she had a son called Karna. But unfortunately, she couldn't keep him. So she put him in the beautiful basket, and she was just sent away in the river. Eventually, she met a father, and he grew there. But when she came to Kunti Bhoji's house, Kunti Bhoj changed her name from Pritha to Kunti. That is another big blow, isn't it? That is another identity, losing her own identity. She lost her parents, she lost her brothers and sisters, she lost her household, she lost her friends. She came here and she lost her name. What an austerity. So Kunti Maharani went through all that, and when she got married eventually to Pandu Maharaj, she came to Hastinapur with big, big dreams. I'm taking you on this journey because it's all this verse is all about relationship. Vidurji is asking about Vasudev, who is so proper into keeping up with his relationship with all of them, especially Kunti Maharani, and that's why I'm talking about Mother Kunti here. So when she came to Hastinapur, as soon as she arrived in Hastinapur, there was a war. And she hadn't met Pandu Maharaj at the moment, at that time. And Pandu Maharaj went on a war without meeting Kunti. It was that emergency. And when he came back, that war wasn't for 1 or 2 days or 3 days or 4 days. It lasted some time. And Magda Naresh, when the war was with Magda Naresh, Magda place, kingdom, that king offered his own daughter Madri to Pandu Maharaj for peace settlement. Today we are watching in the news, we are watching everywhere. People are doing so much for peace settlement, but they are not coming towards peace settlement because there is not proper understanding between each other. So Madri came with Maharaj Pandu, and when he brought her to Hastinapur, and when Kunti came to know that he has come home with another wife, Kunti immediately gave up her position as a wife. And she took a back seat. What can we learn from here? There are a lot of misunderstandings, lot of animosity between two families are created, and without any reason. And people don't want to give up. This is my realization in my lifetime. that it's so hard to become a mediator or bring two families to come to some sort of agreement. Maharani Kunti didn't say that I'm going back to my father. You brought another wife. I'm not saying it should happen now, but we are just, from here, what we can learn is tolerance. You tell me, what sort of tolerance do we have? What is our level of tolerance in our own lives? Because it's at very low level, isn't it? And eventually, Kunti Maharani went through one austerity to another, one after another, and there was no limit to her austerities, her defaming. Dhritarashtra and his children, they defamed her, calling her all sorts of names. Her daughter-in-law went through so much austerities, to the point that her granddaughter-in-law, Uttara, was not spared while she was expecting Abhimanyu. I mean, all this had happened. And Vasudev, being in Dwarka, he couldn't come himself. So every now and then he would send Krishna. Go and see, meet my nephews, meet my sister, see whatever her needs are. You please look after her. And that's why Krishna was always there for Pandavas. And here Vidurji is saying that Vasudev is so kind and compassionate that he is fulfilling all his duties. And some duties are difficult to fulfill, but yet he still did it. At the time of war, he specifically asked Kunti to come and live in Dwarika with him. But Maharani Kunti didn't go because she wanted to be with Dhritarashtra, and that was her duty. But Subhadra Maharani, Abhimanyu, and Draupadi's 5 sons, who were young then, they all went to live in Dwarka when Pandavas were sent into exile for 12 years and the 13th year without being recognized. So these children were brought up in Dwarika. So Vasudev took all that responsibility. That when his sister was having such a hard time, he realized that if these Pandavas are going to go into the forest, the 5 sons of Draupadi, Subhadra, and Abhimanyu's situation will be very, very critical. They will not be spared by mainly Shakuni and Duryodhana. So Krishna took them to Dwarika. What a responsibility. What a sweetness into that relationship. That Pandavas did not have to worry about their sons. Arjun did not have to worry about Abhimanyu because they knew. Draupadi did not have to worry about her 5 sons. Maharani Kunti did not have to worry about her 6 grandsons because she knew that they are with my brother. But at the essence of this sloka is that the relationship which is followed by responsibility, brings a good result and sweetness into that relationship. It is, we've got 10 minutes left, so I would like to stop here. And I would like everybody to unmute. And if anybody has got any question, anybody's got any comment, please feel free. And I would like to take everybody's darshan, if possible, if everybody can put their camera on, it would be nice to take your darshan as well. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for this so sweet talk on relationship and responsibility. And it is a much needed session. Today's session is much needed for all of us. I don't know about the other devotees, but definitely for me, it has really helped me into understanding at the phase I am in. I open it up to any questions. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Madan Gopal Prabhu, even Anandavardhan Prabhu. So Mataji, this is a mixed group. We have devotees joining us from Canada, from the States, from the UK, and definitely our local devotees here. So we have Dennis Mugo and Doreen and Prashanatma, all local devotees from Eldoret. Any questions or comments for Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving a nice and elaborate session on Kunti Maharani's life. You know, we heard like Prita, we heard like Kunti, we know about Kunti Bhoj, but we didn't know, like, we have heard and have maybe seen on the television the past life of Kunti, but today you stress out on how much she suffered, how much she gave up just for her, just to keep the relationship. So this is how everybody should be, how much she went through. Even when she was very young, she had to leave her family, which is very, very hard for it. I think she was 8 years old when she was adopted.
Yes.
And then even when in young age, when her husband passed away, she couldn't become sati. She had to let her madri go. So this is very, very hard for her. And she didn't have a happy life at all. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yes, because if we list her tyag, the things she renounced, it's mind-blowing. I only talked about few. If we list them, it's really mind-blowing, beta.
Yeah, her suffering also, she never left her children. Doesn't matter how grown up they were, she was always with them. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And her loyalty towards Dhritarashtra and Gandhari was really too much, I feel. And these are the people who really tortured her and her children and even her husband. And in spite of that, she said, I'm married to this kingdom, I have to be with them. So thank you for highlighting that.
Yes, and up to the point that when Vidura comes to Hastinapur, and then when he sees Dhritarashtra and Gandhari still in the palace, he advised them that, why are you still here? Have you no shame? Your children are killed. You gave these Pandavas so much hard time and you are still living here. If you won't leave this Koshi life now and go and search for the higher purpose, when will you do that? So when Dhritarashtra and Gandhari leaves the palace in the night with Vidur, Kunti came to know about it because she knew something was happening. So her maid servants were keeping an eye. And when she saw these people leaving, she went with them. She didn't stay behind to enjoy the kingdom.
Yes, she too went with them
Yes.
to the forests and yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she didn't say that, well, your children gave my children such a hard time. They were almost killed. And now I have never had any happiness in my life. Now I'm going to be a Rajmata. I'm the mother of the king and I will enjoy. She did not do that. She went with these elders. So it's the responsibility of the elders towards the youngsters and the youngsters towards the elder. So
and what was worse, Mataji, was that she couldn't even keep her first child. Very hard. Very hard to discard your first child. Yeah.
Yes.
She did that also. Very nice, Mataji. I got inspiration. I may write something on Kunti Maharani's life or give a class on her life. That would be very nice. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Are there any other questions or comments? We have just 3 minutes left now.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for the session. It was wonderful, like to hear from you. And my question was for this Kali Yuga, like when Kunti has suffered so much, and when Vidura also suffered so much, like insults and stuff like that, and they were so patient to still bear with those insults. But in Kali Yuga, how much can we like when someone insults? How long or how much can we take? Like how much tolerance should we have? Sometimes they say zero tolerance nowadays. Like they say zero tolerance for stuff, which makes sense because few things like when the girl or a woman is tortured at workplace or any other places like that, or when a mother when the kids, like when they grow up and when they go get their own wives and they have their own life, but then they start insulting their own parents, for example, or any of these things. Like in this yuga, in Kali Yuga, how much where is the limit, Mataji? Like when should we tell them, like, okay, this is the limit, now you cannot cross this limit, you cannot torture me now anymore, you cannot insult me anymore. So when can anybody in this yuga can say that, Mataji? Should we be like Vidura or Kunti, or should we be a little bit more, take our own side and say, no, this stop now. This is it. We cannot deal with this anymore.
Beta, my life experience has taught me that tolerance with intelligence.
Yes, Mataji.
We cannot be, we cannot act like Mother Kunti because that was different yoga and we are not her. But the things we can learn from her is develop some sort of tolerance.
Yes, yes, like Mataji.
Yes, sometimes you come across people and they are live wire here. So instead of that, learn to tolerate, learn to let go. And when the time comes, that's the time you could say, okay, now, because that's where your self-respect comes as well.
Exactly, Mataji. That's what the problem nowadays is. The younger generation, the Gen Zs or whatever they're called, they cannot have a differentiation between the ego and self-respect. So when it is coming to self-respect, they think that, oh, they have a lot of ego, which is not really ego because it is self-respect. But yeah, that differentiation, they have lot of like fine lines between these things, lot of things like this. Self-respect and ego is one of the examples, but there are so many things where there is a small fine line between these two, which they are not able to understand, Mataji. That is the thing for this generation, I think.
Yes, so for general mass of people, tolerance with intelligence.
Yes, Mataji.
That,
For
that
sure. Yes. Yes, with intelligence we can deal with these kind of issues, which how we speak to them, how we convince them the message, like how we tell them like, okay, this what you did is or whatever that is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, that we have to make them clear. And I mean, they also should have the understanding, which is the thing. But if they are also like, if we see people like Duryodhana, then you cannot change them anyways. So yes, Mataji, I got the point, Mataji. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you very much for that question. We have exhausted our time. It is 1 minute past. I would like to stick to the time. So if there are any other questions or comments, we can ask Mataji on her next session. I request Path Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, is it possible for you to end the session for today? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Am I visible, Madam Mataji?
no.
No, you are not visible.
I don't know. My camera is something problem, but I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, my camera is something wrong. Okay, thank you very much, Mataji, for your nice and wonderful class. You are giving very, very wonderful things about this Uddhava and like Vidur Maharaj, Vidurji. So discussion about them, the sweet exchange of them. Also, the same time, you are also giving very nice like pastimes of Kunti Maharani, how she is tolerance, the topmost tolerance. And after that also she always try the Vipada Santu, comes the miseries come all the time so that we are never forget to the Krishna. So that is in a, and also in Bhagavatam, that is the fast prayers. There are so many prayers already you told, but this is the fast prayers I name. Vyasdevi put in the Bhagavatam so that we can learn from Kunti Maharani. So thank you very much, Mataji, for your nice and wonderful class. Also, thanks all our devotees who are joining here in this Bhagavatam forum. It is very great. You are spend your precious time for the precious work to pleasure of the God and pleasure for everyone. So I request everyone, please unmute yourself and chant Hare Krishna mantra for glorification of her grace. Lila Sakhi Mataji, please join. Yeah. Lila
Hare
Shakti.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Vancha
Kalpatarubhyascha
Vaishnaveभ्यश्च Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Lila Shakti Mata ji ki jai.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Hari Bol, Radhe Radhe.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. Very nice
Hare
class.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.